Hello, everyone. Today we're on day 5, and we are going to be talking about excuse me, the courtesy word, excuse me. And our opening quote says, life is short, but there is always enough time for courtesy. It's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Today we're talking about the word excuse me. Have you ever experienced a child barging into a conversation you're having with someone because they want to ask you for water, and many times they don't know what they did wrong. So we need to teach our children that if they need to interrupt our conversations for any reason, they should say, excuse me. And then have you also experienced the situation where a child just comes in and you're talking and then they go, excuse me, and then they go on to say what they wanted to say? That also is not polite enough. So what we could teach our children to do is that if for any reason they have to interrupt our conversations, they could come and stand around, or maybe they could tap you to get your attention and then say, excuse me. Because, we've seen cases where, oh, the child interrupts you and you say, no, why did you interrupt me? And the child goes, but I said, excuse me. No, that is still rude. So the child should be able to get your attention and then say, excuse me, before they begin saying what they have to say. Other times where we could teach our children to use the word excuse me are when they belch or when they gas accidentally. Sometimes it could just come out without it being planned and it's loud where people are. It can be embarrassing, but we could just teach them to say, excuse me, and it's okay. When they sneeze or when they yawn, they should be able to say, excuse me. And of course, when they're doing these things, we must teach them that their mouths have to be covered. When they want to get someone's attention, we had mentioned that before. When they need someone to repeat something, so someone said something and they didn't hear it, they could say, excuse me. And then when they need to press through a crowd, so they're moving and they're just saying, oh, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. And then lastly, when they need to reach across to someone, so they're sitting on the table and they want to reach across from the person next to them to the other person, we should teach them to be able to say, excuse me.